Boss 302 versus GT350. We are here at the SCCA National Tour. We're gonna figure out which one of these cars is faster on the autocross track. Over 170 cars here. It's a two-day event. Let's see how things shake out. We are back at Steeda HQ, and before we break down GT350 versus Boss 302, we need to explain the format of an SCCA National Tour. Jamie, can you kind of go over that?
It's a combined two-day event, one course on Saturday, one course on Sunday. They're different courses, and the combined times from your best run of each day determines your overall position in class and overall position in the event.
We highly recommend going out and at least spectating or going out and racing at a National Tour event. The level of competition is much higher than a regular regional event. And frankly, I know every time I go to a National Tour event, I always learn a ton. Let's talk about the cars. This is probably the first time you're seeing Jamie's personal Boss 302 on the channel. Honestly, I'm really excited to see it out there again. It's been about 3 years since he's raced it. Jamie, can you tell us a little bit about the parts that are on your 302?
It started life as a regular Boss 302 production car, Grabber Blue, 2013. And I originally started running it. Back then it was A stock instead of A street, and realized pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be competitive to Corvettes, the BMWs in the class. So I went ahead and started prepping it for E Street Prepared, class where I could run bigger wheels, different suspension modifications, sway bars on both ends, coilovers, Hoosier tires, do things like headers, engine tuning, and it progressed from there. The car spent a little bit of its life down because of a on-course incident where it hit a solid object and basically had to rebuild the front half of the car. But it's Coney coilovers, 550-pound front springs. It's got 350-pound rear springs. It's got our adjustable lower control arms in the rear, adjustable upper in the rear, or adjustable bracket. It's got a Watts link in the back, a stiffer front sway bar, adjustable front sway bar, camber plates. Just a fairly basic, simple setup. Long tube headers, 3-inch exhaust, stock Boss manifold with a Steeda cold air kit, and it's tuned to run on 93.
You got some aero on there as well, right?
Yeah, homemade rear spoiler.
Does it help?
I haven't tried back-to-back runs with and without it to see what kind of difference it makes. I'm still not 100% convinced yet that it's absolutely necessary.
Well, it definitely looks the part. And I mean, what Jamie didn't say is that this is a dedicated race car. I mean, you said it has about, what, 3,000 miles on it?
It rolled 3,700 miles over the weekend.
Wow.
And that's all original miles, and it's all, majority of it is all track miles.
It's great to see Jamie's car out on the racetrack, back where it belongs. And what tires were you racing on this past weekend?
I was running on Yokohama AO52s.
And in terms of the 350, you guys pretty much know about that already. It has pretty much everything Steeda underneath, including our dual rate springs. I was running Hawk Performance ceramic pads. I was on about 60% Warren Falcon RT660s, our new Steeda MagneRide controller, and all of the Steeda Stop the Hop goodies. So without further ado, let's jump into day one of racing. JD was able to get a 50.829. I was very close behind him at a 50.872 at the end of the day on Saturday. Jamie, tell us about your run.
Well, I was a little bit confused with what the car was doing after this Friday test and tune. It was really, really pushy. It's never had that much understeer before, and I was making some changes all day Friday trying to get a handle on it. I had it settled down a good bit for Saturday, but the car was still not 100% consistent.
And in terms of my runs, I can tell you right now, I was a little happy on the go fast pedal. I have a tendency to do that. Even with the lack of low end torque on the GT350s, I was still able to kick the back end out a little too much, which honestly scrubbed too much speed and scrubbed too much time, resulting in not as good of a time that I could have gotten. The course on Saturday, especially in comparison to Sunday, we'll get to Sunday, I love Sunday's course, but Saturday was a little bit more technical. We jokingly said it's kind of a Miata course. By the time they had the course set up Saturday night for Sunday, I got a call from Jamie after he approved the course as the chief of safety, and frankly, it was fast. He basically called me jumping up and down, saying that there was essentially a drag strip between the barn and the big turnaround in the back, and I would know I was excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the few chances you have on an autocross course, especially a national autocross course on that small of a side, to actually run 70 miles an hour.
And with a big honking V8 under the hood, that is obviously easy to do. So with that said, check out our best runs on Sunday. As you can see from the course layout on Sunday, it was a lot quicker, but obviously when you are carrying more speed, that means there's more at stake. You need to pay attention very closely to your brake points. But when it comes to tire temps, brake temps, things like that, when you're racing in December in Georgia, the ambient temperature is relatively mild.
All in all, it was almost perfect weather for an event.
Tell us a little bit about your run on Sunday and how you feel walking away from the event after not driving the car for literally 3 years.
I knew going in that it probably wasn't going to be the correct spring combination for running 200 treadwear tires, because like I said, I've always ran the car on Hoosiers. They're 40 treadwear race tires, have a lot more grip. You run a lot more spring with that kind of grip, and it just didn't have the total grip it needed to be able to get a good turn in or maintain speed through corners as well as it should have. Those are all things that I'll address as I go. I didn't really have any intention of running the car in this class, but it just, this weekend it just kind of came up as to that's what was going to happen.
Being that Sunday's runs were wide open, I was able to take advantage of the horsepower that the 350 has from the get-go and keep the RPMs up, specifically in second gear, and get a little bit more power out there and down to the ground. One thing I did notice with the Falcons falling off, I did have to adjust tire pressures a little bit more than I normally would have. Actually ended up dropping, I think, 3 or 4 pounds in the rear between my first and second run to allow for a little bit more tire contact patch in the rear, which helped me keep the rear end planted since I was having some issues with the car kind of swinging side to side. Aside from that, I'm pretty happy with how well the car drove. The only thing that I know I need to improve is the driver, get that driver mod and get a little bit more seat time. But I always like going to those National Tour events because it introduces you to really, really good drivers, like the other 2 drivers in our KMC class, both Dave Whitworth in his 2012 GT and Brian Burdett in his silver 17 GT. Both absolutely killed it. Just watching them out on course and how they handled the slaloms, the turns, their brake points, everything involved. I know that I learned a lot. I'm sure, Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah, I learned quite a bit watching them. The lines, how they differed in their lines versus what I was doing. I know that some of mine was just simple car, couldn't get the front grip down to be able to turn in, but it was just interesting to watch how they handled things.
One of my favorite things to do after these national events, especially if I was racing in them, I will go on YouTube and try to find those other really, really fast cars and see if they've posted their runs up on YouTube and kind of compare, take notes, because that way you can learn, hey, I know I took this turn a little bit wider, but they pinched it off, or they gave up a little bit in the beginning of the turn so they can get more in the back end. If you can walk away with that knowledge, you're gonna get better the next time you go out. The answer you've all been waiting for, which is faster, the Boss 302 or the GT350? If you take our fastest run from Saturday and our fastest run from Sunday, the Boss 302 was a 97.778, and the GT350 narrowly got the win with a 97.404. So Jamie, you want a rematch?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun with this. Comment below and let us know what you want to see. Should both of us jump in Jamie's car? Should we go to an event and split the day and swap cars in the afternoon? Let us know what you think. We want to get creative with this one and see who's faster. Hit that like and subscribe button, the notification bell, and don't forget the most important thing.
Speed matters.